Everybody wants the perfect warm-up. They want a magic sequence that's going to fire up every muscle, activate every tendon, prime every ligament, unlock every joint. They want to walk in the cold, do a 6-minute routine, and somehow be bulletproof, ready for anything from a 1-rep max deadlift to a 50K mountain run. That doesn't exist. And if you think it does, you're wasting time chasing unicorns instead of actually training. Let's get real. A warm-up is not about checking boxes for every tissue in the human body. It's not about turning your garage into a yoga treat or turning half your session activating muscles. You're not even going to use them. A warm-up is about getting you ready physically and mentally for the work you're about to do. Nothing more, nothing less. The fantasy of a perfect warm-up comes from the same mindset that thinks there's a perfect supplement stack, a perfect training split, a perfect shoe that fixes all your problems. Because people want security, they want certainty, they want to believe that they just do everything, they'll never get hurt, they'll never feel tight, they'll never have an off day. But that is not how the human body works. Your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and joints don't all need the same kind of prep. They don't all respond to the same inputs. Trying to design a single warm-up that perfectly targets all of them is like trying to write one program that makes you an elite marathoner, a powerlifter, and an Olympic gymnast at the same time. Here's the truth. Your muscles need blood flow and activation. Your joints need mobility in the ranges you're actually going to use. Your tendons need gradual loading to tolerate stress. And your ligaments aren't something you warm up. They need long-term strength and stability, not a quick 5-minute routine. That's 4 different demands. You're not going to solve all of them in one magic sequence. There is a lot people get wrong about warm-ups. Let's go through a few of these. 1, they confuse warming up with training. Spending 30 minutes foam rolling and band walking and twisting yourself into a pretzel, that is not a warm-up. That's stalling. You're burning energy that should be spent under the bar, on the trail, or in the workout. Number 2, they try to cover every possible joint angle. Newsflash, you don't need to mobilize your wrists if you're deadlifting. You don't need to spend 5 minutes on ankle circles if you're benching. Warm up what you're about to use, nothing more, nothing less. And number 3, they think more equals safer. No, more equals wasted time. The warm-up is not injury proofing. Training smart and consistently is what keeps you healthy, not obsessively hitting every joint capsule like you're checking off a checklist. So what then does actually matter? Instead of chasing the impossible hit everything routine, focus on the major elements that carry over to most sessions. Number 1, raise the core temperature. This is the simplest, most effective thing you can do. Get the blood moving. Go for jump rope, row, bike, jog, burpees, doesn't matter. 2 to 3 minutes is enough. If you're sweating lightly, you're warm. Done. Number 2, mobilize major joints. Don't overthink this. Hips, shoulders, thoracic spine. If you hit those, you've already covered the foundation for 90% of movements you'll ever do. 3, prime the pattern. If you're squatting, squat. If you're pressing, press. Start light. Groove the movement. Let your body adjust. This is where your tendons, joints get their prep. Progressive loading, not band magic. Number 4, activate your key muscles. Think glute, core, scapular stabilizers, the muscles that keep you aligned and braced under load. You don't need 20 exercises. Pick 1 or 2 and then hit the weak links and go. That's it. You don't need a circus act. You don't need to mobilize your pinky toe joints. You need to get hot, open up the hips and shoulders, and pattern the movement you're about to train. Simple, effective, done. Look at how athletes warm up outside the gym. A fighter doesn't do 20 minutes of band work before throwing punches. They shadow box, they move, they break a sweat, they hit the mitts. That's it. A runner doesn't mobilize every vertebra before a race. They jog, do a few strides, maybe some skips, and go. Strongman competitors don't prep every joint capsule before lifting a stone. They roll it, they pick it up, they build up to it. When we talk about durability, adaptability, capability, this doesn't come from a perfect warm-up. It comes from respecting the big rocks and then getting to work. If you are chasing that perfect warm-up, there are going to be some problems, some downsides to that. The first and foremost is you're going to be wasting time. Instead of training for 60 minutes, you warm up for 30 and train for 30. You just cut your training volume in half. 2, you build dependence. You convince yourself that if you don't do this exact ritual, you're going to get hurt. That's weakness disguised as preparation. The third thing you're going to end up doing is you're going to avoid hard work. A long, complicated warm-up often becomes procrastination. You're no longer prepping, you're hiding from the work. And the fourth worst thing you're going to be doing is you never get consistent. If your warm-up is too long and complicated, you're going to skip it. And once you start skipping the warm-up, you start skipping sessions. The perfect warm-up does not exist, but a consistent, simple warm-up, that is going to be your gold standard. The method I recommend is simple. Start off with 2 to 3 minutes of conditioning. Jump rope, rower, air bike, run, I don't care. Just go do it, break a sweat. And then 2 to 3 mobility drills, focusing on the big movements, your hips, your shoulders, your thoracic spine, then done. And then 1 activation drill. Think plyometrics or something like that. Glutes, core, scapular stabilizers, and then of course, movement prep. Start with an empty bar, lightweight, slow pace, whatever it is, the movement you're gonna be doing that day. Ramp up until you're working sets. It takes less than 10 minutes, and it works for almost everything. Lifting, running, CrossFit, strongman, whatever. So stop chasing that perfect warm up. It does not exist. Stop pretending you can hit every muscle, every tendon, every ligament, every joint in one routine. That's not preparation, it's fantasy. Get hot, mobilize your big movers, prime your pattern, and then train. Focus on what really matters. Because the warm up doesn't make you strong. The warm up doesn't build resilience. The warm up doesn't make you bulletproof. The warm up doesn't carry you through 50 miles or put 500 pounds on your back. The warm up is there to get you to the starting line. The work is what takes you across the finish line. This is Forge Grit, and we are grit and determined.